I just clipped up this little piece because it was getting in the way, and I'll take it down, and you'll see it'll be a lovely little spring. Yeah, it's a pin curl. I was walking around last night with lots of pin curls, and I thought to myself, this is glamour, isn't it? This is being a grown-up woman. So,
do you feel like a different person with your hair?
I definitely do, and I think it's funny because when a girl dyes her hair because of, like, you know, wanting a change or being emotional, which is, I think, something a lot of people can relate to, you always go out into the world thinking everybody is going to look at you and be like, wow, look at that person with that hair. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody looks at me. Yeah. It's fine. I feel disappointed that I'm not more noticeable now with my whitish hair. But I think internally I am getting used to it. And I think it's nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Also, I think once you have declared yourself to the world as somebody who dyes their hair
absolutely
quite frequently,
it's a bit rock and roll.
It doesn't really cool. make such a big deal. You know, it doesn't seem that different anymore.
Totally. I always was jealous of the people in school who would have like a streak of pink or something like that, and it was always so casual. I didn't think of it as that big a deal, and I thought dyeing my hair was such a big deal. I didn't do it until I was 21, and now it's like, oh wow, it is actually really easy. So I'm glad I'm in that phase of my life where I don't think it's such a big deal, but I obviously still want the attention. I want people to look at me and be like, and they haven't so far, but when I get it looking really good, you guys just
one day
wait.
I'll dye my hair.
I think you should. No, I think you should. No. You've never done it.
No, I'm never going to. I'm sorry. Even as I said it, I was like, I'm never going to do that.
But the thing is, don't you find it interesting that you have such a kind of pride in, like...
It's not pride. It's not pride. It's fear.
It's fear, I think, but also you maintain yourself so well, and your hair is like this amazing crowning glory. But surely part of the excitement and thrill of human, like, experience is that when you take a risk, like you take a risk every time you dye your hair, there's a chance that you could really fuck it up. But that's the thrill because you're on a knife edge.
But I just don't think it's worth it. I think I made the decision really young that this is how I feel most myself with this outfit type thing, and hair very long, very little makeup, glasses. I think also because my glasses are such a statement, which I take for granted quite a lot of the time because I've worn big, weird glasses for so many years now. I think I can't do much more. If I had your colour hair right now and red lipstick and, I think I would just look a bit too much.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just too
So I'm looking
much.
a bit whorish, is that what you're trying to say?
No, but if you also had huge glasses...
Oh, yeah, it would be too much. You're right.
It would be too much.
Because there would be too many things.
Yeah.
I don't have the glasses, so that's minus one thing for me. So I need to give myself a thing. Hair is that thing. There
exactly.
we go. We worked it out. We worked out the formula. You can have one thing. You need to pick your thing.
Yeah. So, but I am feeling like I'm being a bit of a fraud at the moment because I've started wearing jeans.
I know lots of people commented on our last video
I'm a jeans
about
girl
how
now.
uncomfortable they felt with Jessie wearing jeans.
Yeah, it just can't handle my thighs,
too.
can you? Can't handle my thighs.
Jessie's bought these jeans that have a sort of like a seam. Wait. They have a seam sort of upper thigh, and it's sort of supposed to accentuate your derriere, if you will.
I don't know if it is. They are bum jeans.
And they're sort of like a bit of like a cowboy cut, a bit Western. And they are very flattering. But when you were wearing them during the Sunrise recording and you were doing your exercise and your squats in the beginning, there were points where it looked like you had the world's biggest VPL, because
or a nappy.
or like a nappy, or a sort of continence pad under there. So that's something to be aware of. You need to be careful with your seams.
These are ASOS high-waisted bum lifting jeans. I don't think they do lift my bum, but I've realised the secret of wearing jeans. It's to get a size bigger.
Oh, definitely.
But I never knew that, and I've always been so... I think because there was I grew up in the horrible phase where there was like the really low-rise jeans. So
which has come back into fashion, yeah.
Where you can see your hip bone.
Yeah, and I think with those you could probably see the waist, the measurement on the back. So people probably competitively tried to make sure that their jeans were a small waist measurement.
And I remember so vividly going to some kind of summer camp thing, and all of the girls had the same Miss 60 low-rise, flare, pale denim jean.
Oh my
they
God,
all
that sounds
were
so disgusting.
So thin.
I can actually hear Christina Aguilera as you're saying that.
And they were so thin, and I felt just like a hippo next to them in my like tennis tracksuit.
Yeah.
And I think that just kind of made me forever think, okay, I'm not the girl who wears jeans. And it's taken so long to realise that I can wear jeans. I'm just not going to wear them like they do. And I think because, I don't know, size becomes such a big deal as you're growing up as well. And I always thought, okay, I need to be I would never, ever be a size 8. And only when I'm like at my thinnest am I just a size 10. And that's still fucking small.
Yeah.
Like what? But I always just felt, oh no, but they're size. These girls were like size 6. They were size 6 until they were about 14. I mean, I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, but you have to remember that they were teenagers too. That's because their
But
bodies
I wasn't that size, and I was a teenager.
Yeah, but then, you know, everybody's frame and skeleton is different, and it's just so damaging to compare yourself. And also, the idea of trying to fit back into your teenage jeans is such a kind of toxic.
No, I'm not saying I want to fit in my teenage jeans, but I'm saying even from then on, it was like size was it was a marker of how good you were.
Of course.
That's gone now. I don't care. And it's just something so free about. It's taken me to the age of 33, almost 34, to be okay with wearing a certain size jean.
Yeah, and to also be okay that you don't look the way that like a teenager's body would. And I think that's such a kind of interesting conspiracy and lie that women have been told in order to kind of minimize them and shrink them, which is that you are supposed to maintain a level of youthfulness and beauty that you had as a teenager when you were literally growing and developing, as you are when you're supposed to be a woman, when you're in your child rearing phase, where you're supposed to be strong and bigger and healthier.
I definitely messed up my entire body and metabolism from those years, and because I lost a lot of weight as a actress when I first started out, so 1920, when I actually got Harry Potter, when I was at my thinnest, I was exactly doing that. I was trying to be the size I was when I was a teenager, and it's just taken all of my 20s to unlearn all of the shit.
Yeah. It's just fascinating. So let's hope Marga's generation just doesn't grow up with that kind of toxic imagery.
I don't think they will. But then as we were walking here, we walked past a fashion shoot, and you just think,
it's still the same.
It's still the same. There's still the rail of clothes that all look absolutely minuscule, and a girl in barely a skirt with all of her body out. And just think, maybe it will be the same.
And the fact that noughties trends are coming back. Literally, as you were saying, the low-rise jean thing, I was thinking that's all anyone is wearing on TikTok at the moment. So it is actually recycling back, but I just hope with a bit of a healthier spin.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We will see.
But there's also something so nice about wearing jeans and just being it. I think when you're not a jeans person, jeans are so much easier to wear. Like you can wear tops.
Oh God, yeah.
I couldn't wear tops.
You could tuck it in if you want a bit more of a sort of smart business casual look. Yeah. You can have a free flowing t-shirt and a flannel shirt over the top if you want to be the cool girl at a party.
There's so many different looks.
So many different looks.
It's just quite free.
You've opened up the world to yourself.
Yeah, but it's also just something so nice about stopping breastfeeding. Well, I say stopping breastfeeding. I'm still feeding them all night, but you know, finally being able to wear clothes and not have to think about, I need to wear a top that I can just feed him really quickly, or it feels like I'm getting things back that I just kind of take for granted when you're pregnant. Or
absolutely.
It's just something that's quite nice.
Yeah.
I feel quite excited about clothes suddenly again.
Well, you have a beautiful glow to you today. You seem
thank
really,
you.
really well.
Okay, that's really nice.
I think especially in comparison to me, I have such brutally bad hay fever that both of my eyes are watering at different rates, and my nostrils feel like just somebody's living up inside of there. So I'm sorry if I don't look great.
You don't do my hay fever snore though, do you?
Do you have a hay fever snore?
Yeah, so I have a snore all year round, obviously.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That Alfie can hear from 3 floors up, which is why we have quite a few problems in our relationship. My kids don't notice the snore. They say they don't, but I think they must. I think I don't know. But
I think genetically we are designed to be able to sleep with lots of sounds. Because if you remember in our childhood bedroom, the one I shared with Ben and Jamie and Mummy, we had a dryer in there.
Yeah.
So I got very used to the sound of like knocking and stuff during the night. That's clearly passed down genetically to your children. They can cope with your like treacherous levels.
Yeah. I won't do it for the microphone right now, but it's just,
you don't deserve it.
Yeah, just some of you might be walking to work, might be having a coffee in the morning. I want to put you off.
People seem to think that we're quite relaxing to listen to, which I find very funny.
That's nice.
They say, I listen to you in the morning when I'm getting ready
so
for work.
I definitely won't do my
snore
snore
then.
Don't do
the snore.
But yeah, I still have the same thing because of our child at home. I have to have lots of noise around me. Alfie cannot get over the fact that I don't need a door closed when I sleep. he has such a thing about doors. He needs them to be closed. Whereas I can leave them open. I like having the dryer on. I like having a sound machine. I like having the fan on. I like having the window open.
I love hearing cars going past at night. That's very comforting to me.
I love cars.
God,
yeah.
Beep, beep. Great.
Oh, yeah.
Just great. Honestly, great. I found out recently that this really cool girl that I know who's beautiful and tiny and just like fascinating, and like she works in fashion. She's just like tiny, sexy little baby girl, you know, like sexy and very cool, very good with boys, very good at everything like that.
I fucking hate her.
I hate her, but love her. She's a good friend. Hey, babe. Found out that she is afraid of the dark. Has to sleep with all the lights on. Isn't that fascinating? Because she was honestly so cool, almost on the verge of being basic, because it's like, well, what's your quirk? Finding out that she's afraid of the dark and has to sleep with all the lights on, most fascinating thing about her. Now she is the main character, you know?
Now you like her more.
So much more. So much more.
What happened in the dark?
Because it's like, how fascinating is that, you know? And so sometimes she'll just not go to bed because it's too dark.
Everyone has a thing.
Everybody has a
one thing about
those are
every single
her.
person.
Those are her Jessie Cave glasses. Not being afraid of the dark. Those are her glasses.
Yeah, but I was meaning more. There's a secret to everybody. Like my glasses aren't exactly a secret, but you know, everyone has something which they don't want people to know.
Yes.
Or if they're not, definitely, I realize now that if somebody is nice and funny, and I like them, they've usually got like an awful secret.
Yes. And if the general public or nice people knew about that thing, we would probably all be cool with it, but it's too embarrassing for the person to admit. There are plenty of things that I do that are like that, you know?
Yeah.
So that's a bit of fun, isn't it?
Very fun. So me and Alfie haven't been able to watch TV together in a while. I don't know. I think it's starting to get to the stage now where with 3 children and jobs, it just kind of feels like, okay, there is just no time.
Yeah.
But I realised that I really miss that. I really miss watching something with him. I think it's because it's like a bonding experience when you're both enjoying something at the same time.
Yeah. There's nothing better than looking forward to watching a TV show that you're watching with somebody else.
Totally. I mean, he doesn't let me talk when I'm watching things, but still, I enjoy being with him.
And looking over at their face and seeing that you've both like enjoyed that same moment, you know?
Yeah. So like Line of Duty has been the only thing lately where every Sunday we just kind of watch that together.
Couldn't get better.
Yeah. Although I do fall asleep and then I have to watch it on my own the next day, which isn't great. But yeah, I was thinking about what is the type of genre of show or, you know, show in general that you live for, like that you would happily watch again and again and again, or that you would put your schedule around.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we both obviously it's Succession. It's got to be Succession for both of us.
If I just want that to come back so badly. I've been like looking up Brian Cox just for fun on Google.
Sometimes I just like to look at the actors' faces or watch other things that they're in.
Yeah.
So that I feel vicariously like I'm getting my dose of Succession.
Like he even did a really basic advert for some kind of car insurance, and just hearing his voice made me feel just kind of like
better,
tingly.
Exactly, and taken care
I
of.
love him.
Yeah. Oh my God, and I love Kendall too. I love the actor that plays Kendall.
Yeah, did you watch the thing that he's in with Sacha Baron Cohen?
No.
Yeah, the movie that Sacha Baron Cohen in, The Trial of something, I don't know what it is.
The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Yeah, he's in that and he's got long hair.
Oh, that sounds like...
I've never seen him before.
I know, and that's what's so brilliant about Succession. I think we could get back onto what makes Succession such a wonderful show, but I think actually just in terms of the casting, they found people that so perfectly represent the characters that they're trying to portray, and the actors feels genuine and
real.
authentic. You haven't seen them in a million things before, so when they enter into this world that you are so thoroughly thrown into, the fact that you're not really the fact that you don't think, oh, that's that person that I've seen in this and this and this, it makes it so much more believable, the world. It makes it so much more authentic.
And I've never seen Shiv either, and I've never seen Marsha.
I've seen
obviously,
we love Kieran Culkin. We love Kieran Culkin.
I would leave Alfie for Kieran Culkin.
Yeah.
I mean, he is married now and he's got a baby.
But he's also not so overused.
No.
He's in cool things, but he's not in too much that it's like when you see him there, you're like, yeah, that's where you're meant to be.
Yeah, totally.
Sitting on my shelf. Thank you very much.
Because Igby Goes Down is my favourite film, and it's not even that good a film. It's just because it's Kieran Culkin.
He's just wonderful, man.
I would do anything for him.
And
he's just so believable, but he's also he's like a child.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's got a little body in the way that his shirts are very tight over his chest, and it just feels like he's brimming with this energy.
That scene in Succession where he masturbates onto the window when he's got nothing else to do during the day, and he's pretending to be this kind of CEO, and he just closed the blinds and just looks out onto the city and masturbates onto the window. It was just something that would have been so like gross, but when he did it, it just
that ticks some boxes for you, didn't it?
No,
that's what I'm starting to get the gist of.
No, but it was just so silly. It was such a great scene.
I think that what's so great about Succession is it portrays family dynamics so well. So despite the fact that it's like the grandest scale, which is what makes it glamorous, which is what makes it good TV, the actual intricacies of the relationships and the power dynamics are so spot on and so different to normal TV shows where you've got the generic like brother and sister who are just like annoyed at each other and like making stupid jokes. Like with this, I don't know why I kept doing the elbow thing there, but like I'm just trying to think of a show like, I don't know, I won't name any names, but like
when they fight, when Roman and Shiv, do you remember in the hospital scene where they don't know what's happening yet to Brian, Logan, and they have an argument. They have a fight.
The OG.
They have a fight and they start playing. They start like
playing like a pro.
I'm sorry. They start literally hitting each other, like violently.
Yes.
I related to that so much. Like so many times we've almost had like proper punch-ups.
Absolutely. Boy, girl, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Boyfriend, girlfriend, doesn't matter. But so many times I really wanted to punch you.
Yeah.
And I've been so close.
Yeah.
Obviously I would win. I'm sorry. You're strong, but I do weights now.
Are you fucking kidding? You think you would beat me in a fight?
I do weights now, BB.
Wait, sorry, you actually being serious? You think that you could beat me in a fight?
I have. That time I hit you, you were weak.
That's because I chose not to engage because you are a mental person. If it actually came fucking down to it, you think I wouldn't beat you to a pulp, you stupid little bitch.
I'm sorry. I am surprisingly strong. And remember, I was an athlete, okay?
I realised that you're an athlete. I'm a heavyweight champion, okay? No. So I think that you would be a little surprised.
Okay, I just think one day we should put mouth guards on and we should fight.
Okay, babe. I could beat you in my sleep. No.
I genuinely am really
I
strong.
have the density of a small planet. Honestly, I'm so like tough and dense in the middle. You wouldn't be able to fight me.
I do 50 squats with weights a day, okay? Not 50,
You're
20,
too stringy for me. I'd be able to throw you over my shoulder and jump in a river.
My thighs. I've got strong thighs, okay? Look at my thighs in these jeans. Look at them in these jeans.
That's like my arm. I got daddy's rower legs, okay? So don't fucking give me this shit. If there's one thing that I have to deal with that I didn't get mummy's legs, our mum got voted best legs at her school. Jessie got those legs. I got my dad's championship winning rowing thighs. If there's one fucking thing that I get for having not got my mum's legs is that I could beat you in a fight. So please do
not
love
how you
give
say
me
mummy
this
and daddy and then talk about who would beat each other in a fight.
Yeah, well, this is the kind of person I am.
So anyway, I would.
We love
we can do that one day. We can do that one day.
Maybe for the podcast. Maybe for our Patreon, we'll get in a mud fight.
Maybe for our Patreon, we'll just get special mouth guards made.
Yeah, and you can vote.
I won't wear my glasses.
Who's gonna win. Yeah,
I mean, I think
we'll put that on a special tier.
Okay,
I think.
fine.
I don't think the general £3 paying people should deserve to see that. Only if you're going to pay a lot of money.
Yeah,
a lot of money.
So no, but it was the end of season 1, which is kind of everyone was kind of talking about. Where I don't know. I've now watched it 3 times.
Me too. I actually lied when I watched it with Horatio because he had never seen it. That I'd only seen it once. I'd already watched it through twice. So, whoops, sorry.
But it's worth it, isn't it?
It's absolutely worth it. You pick up new things every time.
But I even realise it's really scary to think about, but I read them children's books, obviously, every night. And I've been reading the same books, and I get new books a lot. But I've essentially read each book maybe 2 or 3 times. And I feel really, really guilty saying this, but quite often I'm reading to them and I'm thinking about something else. Mm-hmm. And I can read it, well. I can even do voices, and I'm still not actually really thinking about what I'm saying. And I've been trying to kind of be more engaged and really be with them when I'm with them, just because I feel guilty about everything. And I did that last night, and I was reading to them, and I suddenly was like, I've read this book probably 10 times, but I've never fully clocked that the duck does this, or the lion does this. And I just felt so bad. And they were like, yeah. And I was like, have we read this before? And they were like, yeah, what? They didn't understand what I meant, but I was honestly just shocked that it hadn't gone into my brain.
Yeah, the ability that you have to go into autopilot mode.
Complete
is just
parental
scary.
Autopilot.
Very, very scary. I mean, it doesn't just happen with parents. I mean, the same thing can happen to me. I'll be reading like a paragraph in a book and you just realise that you've literally taken in none of the information.
Yeah. So things like TV, I could easily watch again and again because most of the time I'm thinking about what I've just eaten or I'm like missing something because I'm pouring ketchup on my food.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's like you can't be Bradley Cooper and Limitless all the time, you know? Who's
that
like taking in
just
every...
means nothing to me because I've not seen Bradley Cooper and Limitless.
Okay, just the best film. It's the best film. But he takes a drug that means that he can access 100% of his brain.
Oh, I have
where
seen that.
Supposedly we only access 5% of it or 20%
I have
of
seen
it.
that, but none of it went in.
Exactly, clearly. But he takes in literally everything from the world and he's able to make the most of all this information. But that would exhaust you.
Totally.
The idea of that is that it exhausts you as a person. So don't worry, you can't be Bradley Cooper all the time.
And last night
Sometimes you're Bradley Cooper in Limitless, sometimes you're Bradley Cooper in A Star is Born.
Yeah, totally. And it's usually, dependent on the amount of alcohol you've drunk.
Exactly.
But last night I picked Margot up from school and Donnie had to go to a club thing that he wanted to go to, which I kind of find insulting that he actually chooses to go to clubs rather than just be with me. But anyway, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this activity with her and I'm going to do a puzzle. I'm going to play her make-believe game that she wants to play, but I never play it because I find it too exhausting. And in the end, I just kind of started crying. She didn't see me cry. And just said to Alfie, I'm so exhausted. And I ended up just lying on the bed and watching Little Mermaid Ariel's beginning with her, which is actually really good.
Really?
It's better than Little Mermaid. It's a bit sexy. There's too many sexy mermaids in it for Margot's age, but I enjoyed it. And I just lay there and watched it with her. And she just wanted to be with me. And I suddenly realized, oh God, I'm not sitting with her enough. I'm not just sitting. I'm trying to do too much shit. And then you see all of these Instagrams for parents, like 5 Minute Mum, how you can do a Play-Doh activity within 5 minutes and how you can do a superhero game within 5 minutes and all this stuff. And I think it's just too much. I think actually they just want to be with you.
That's true.
So I'm trying to do that more.
And especially at this age, there's going to come a point where they're not obviously going to enjoy that sort of quality time as much. So it is really sweet that their enjoyment and comfort just comes from being in the same place as you.
But I think it's because of the phones and how there's always a million things you could be doing right now. Mm-hmm. You could be posting about this, or you could be replying to that email, or you could be promoting this, or reading this article, or tweeting this thing. And when you actually just step away from it and realize the email doesn't need to be responded to right now. Mm-hmm. And I still haven't learned that. And I'm really going to try because I constantly feel like I'm on a treadmill constantly. Yeah. Like from the moment I get up. And in the last 3 or 4 weeks, I think because the baby's got older and is more active, so he needs to do more in the day. I feel like from the second I get up, I'm racing.
I know. But I mean, obviously it's because you have such an intensely busy lifestyle as a mother and as a working mother. But at the same time, you also, it's a mindset thing. So you need to try and get off the treadmill in your mind and try and treat each activity as if it's something that you're choosing to do rather than that you have to do. Yeah. And then maybe you'll become calmer. I mean, I don't know.
That's so wise. But I think that's why I'm fantasizing about Succession.
Yeah,
because I haven't even had time to sit down and watch something.
Mm-hmm. And Succession represents a world that's so different to our own, where it's just so glamorous and they're on helicopters the whole time and they're in CEO business meetings.
Yeah.
It's an escapism thing. But
it's weird because Line of Duty, which is the only other program that I am as obsessed by, it's at the moment, it's only on every Sunday. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I don't know if actually I've enjoyed that. I do prefer having a series that I can get through quickly, or I can watch as much as I want. I think it has lost it for me slightly, having to have a week between.
No, I think that they've done it very cleverly, and I'm noticing this with more shows doing the weekly thing. It's like they're trying to get back to the retro feeling. I mean, the fact that I would even use the word retro is ridiculous, but the idea of watching live TV and having to wait for something to come on, they are playing into the fact that we're so used to binging TV now that the idea of having to wait for something it's so angering to everyone when they're enjoying a show that I think that it creates like more like press and publicity about the show itself.
It has actually worked
because
like
if
Mare
you know
of Easttown.
Yeah.
I watched the first one and I desperately wanted to see.
Exactly, because we're so used to just getting instantly exactly what we want.
That was such a good click.
That was a very
Have
loud
you been
click.
the one to teach Margot and Donnie to click?
Yeah.
Oh my God, they just show me constantly, Mummy, I can click. Mummy, look, I can click with 2 fingers now, and it's barely a click.
Yeah,
But they're so
Horatio
proud.
taught Donnie how to do a double click, so he's trying to learn that too.
That's such a teenage boy thing.
It's stupid, isn't it?
That is such a thing.
I know.
I still can't do it. Can't wink, can't
It's
click.
it's a bit like inappropriate, but
Oh, really? Why?
because I think
right,
that
okay.
like as a middle class person, for me to be doing that is like a little bit performative.
Oh, right.
But at the same time, it's very satisfying.
Yeah. I mean, when do you really need? When do you really need to click in daily life?
When you want to add a little extra sparkle to a sentence.
Oh, right. Okay.
Um,
I'm just gonna rock him again.
damn, what was I saying?
You were saying something about how it's something quite retro about
Yes,
waiting.
I think that the weekly thing is creating more tension, because the second that you have a cliffhanger to end a show like they do with Line of Duty consistently, you desperately want to find out what's happening next. And the fact that you can't creates tension in your brain. You're going to remember to watch in the next week, and it means that people are just going to get more buzz.
Totally. But I agree with that in theory, but if the series isn't brilliant, then you're
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to wait a fucking week for that.
But it also means if it isn't brilliant, by the time it's got to a week later, you'll have forgotten that it wasn't brilliant. You'll just have the curiosity left and you'll watch it again.
There's so many parallels here with relationships.
Absolutely.
Like, if you didn't see your boyfriend every day, if you didn't live with him, you know, by the next Sunday comes around 9 p.m, you want to see him again.
Exactly.
Even if he's been a dick.
Exactly.
You know?
Because time makes everything softer, more blurred.
Absence.
And exactly. Yeah, it's
Makes
all
the
about the
heart.
desirability, isn't it?
Totally. And I think even just recently, having spent more time away from Alfie and having days free, like we've been free of each other, so he's been doing things, I've been doing things, I do miss him. It's quite nice, that, isn't it?
It really is.
But it also probably is why bad relationships can last for a long time if you don't see them very much,
Well,
which is dangerous.
Exactly. I don't know if I said this in an earlier episode, but I remember reading about Anna Friel breaking up with her boyfriend of like 2 years,
Oh, yeah.
4 weeks into lockdown, because they just hadn't spent any time intensely together. And I just found that really fascinating. I didn't judge her or think, oh, haha, that's funny. But it was fascinating. Imagine if you were forced to spend that much time with your partner that you weren't used to spending, would the relationship make or break? And clearly it
Totally.
did. Interesting.
I'm really impressed, actually, that relationships have lasted throughout this period of time. It's been so challenging.
Yeah.
And we've got all of this to look forward to. Like, soon they're going to be going out. You know, I mean, I still can't quite get used to letting Alfie leave the house.
Yeah.
Like, he does say that I kind of keep him trapped. It's not that I don't want him to go out and have a nice time. It's just that I feel like I can't do that really because of the kids. And I don't mind that I'm making that choice. I don't really want to go out right now because I've got the baby and I want to stay in. And also I like the safety of being at home, and I'm a home person anyway. But yeah, I am quite looking forward to the challenges of the summer and you know, as hopefully he starts to gig again and we have that separation. Like, it would be really interesting. Maybe we'll break up. Maybe we'll break up once we have that freedom again. Maybe he's only stayed because he's been trapped.
Yeah. And maybe, you know, maybe you'll go out on the town.
Maybe I'll go and paint the town red.
Exactly. I just imagine do bowling for some reason.
Bowling. I do like bowling. Bowling?
Yeah, bowling.
Sounds wrong. Sounds
Bowling.
wrong. Bowling.
I think we could go bowling and
I
pick
would
up a couple
definitely go bowling.
fellas.
have a sexy night out at Westfield.
Oh, big time. Big time. Let's go to All Star Lane in Westfield. That'll be a big night.
And then
big
go to Pho and sit in the mall.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, let's sit in the food court, baby. Oh, my eyes started to water so bad as I just said that.
Just so excited.
So desirable. What an amazing idea.
I have found it quite depressing looking at cinema posters and loads of things now you can watch on, you know, all these different platforms because cinemas are closed. And the posters, some of them look really cheap and shit. And just suddenly getting scared for, you know, the fact that the industry has completely changed. Things just aren't the same anymore.
I know, but in a way it makes me, with the Oscars happening again and like them all doing it in the car park and all of these like ridiculous celebrities getting dressed up in these, I mean, ridiculous gowns and the matching face mask. There was something so stupid about it where it was like, do you really fucking think that anyone gives a shit? And now, after the year that everyone's had, that you guys still are so desperate to go to a party. I mean, I know that's very bitter of me and twisted, but I found it something very annoying about it, the smugness of it, and the way that they were all holding hands and hugging each other. And it was like, I know that maybe things are safer or maybe they all got tested before, but there was still something about the fact that it was so it was so obvious and in our face. I just found it really annoying. Like they thought it still mattered. I think it's
totally.
wonderful that like more. What would I do if I was nominated? I would never get nominated for an. I mean, what? I would. I don't know. I don't know what I would do if I got nominated.
It's difficult because it's such an institution that you have to respect it if you are nominated and you go. But I do agree. I found the whole thing quite grotesque. I also saw like somebody Instagrammed about the Oscars saying, we all got vaxxed, we all got tested. I was like, don't show off that you've got vaccinated when you're not in any of the age group. And it like...
Exactly. Basically, it was just a bit smug. And I think it's wonderful that this year's Oscars, like, there were more female filmmakers and stuff celebrated than ever before and everything like that. So, yes, it still has a place, but it is still a ridiculous, like, event ceremony.
Yeah, it did make it seem really stupid. And there was this, I followed this account that showed all of the Carey Mulligan photos from the night in her golden dress. Mm-hmm. And there was photos, a photographer had followed her getting ready and had taken photos from... almost like through a gate or something. So it looked like he was spying on her. It didn't look like she had known the photographer was there. And then all these different angles of the dress and her getting ready and her makeup and stuff. There was like 50 photos. And then the final one was her with a huge golden dress. And it just seemed so silly. And it is always so silly. But because we've always... just taken it as read that, and we haven't ever had something taken away from us, like just normal. We've had so much normal taken away from us that to see something that was normal before, but now is kind of pick and choose normal.
Yeah. Why do they get to go to a big party?
Yeah. Why do they get to go? Why do they get to wear? But then they are, famous people. But it did make the whole idea of fame and celebrity and
exactly. And I don't know. There was just something kind of annoying about it to me.
Well, I find it always annoying. I mean, if you watch the channel E, which I used to watch all the time for some weird reason as a teenager. If you watch that even for a second, you see the detail they're going into describing people's outfits and diets, and it is insane.
I read a really interesting article yesterday about the actor Noel Clarke.
Oh yeah, he's been
cancelled. And it happened 2 or 3 days after he got this BAFTA for like lifelong celebration of your sort of contribution to British television. And I found it really funny because there are all these photos of him holding the BAFTA, looking really like uncomfortable and like scared. Because he already knew that this article was coming, but it hadn't been out yet. So he probably still had to make the speech. And I didn't watch the speech or anything like that. But then in the actual Guardian article, him and his agent or his friend, the last line of the article is, we think the Guardian article's going away. No, it hasn't come to the press yet, so it'll probably be okay. It's just the most brutally humiliating thing. Basically, when they found out that the article was going to be published with these 20 women that have come forward, they did their best to sort of contact these women or harass them into not saying anything. And then the friend stupidly was caught on the record saying, we think that the Guardian article is not going to be anything.
Oh my God.
And then that was literally the last line of the Guardian article. And I just thought that was so funny that I did literally days after he's been given this award. And BAFTA knew about it.
But the BAFTA knew about it?
Yeah, apparently they had been contacted anonymously, but then they say that they had no way to prove if that was accurate information. Still seems kind of mental to me, but...
Wow. Sorry about that phone noise. Somebody's being very unprofessional by not turning off
It's our family group chat.
Oh, God.
Yeah, our brother Robbie's about to have a baby.
Yeah, very exciting. I'm going to be an auntie.
You're going to be an auntie?
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be strange for you.
I know.
It's a hefty job.
You're such a good auntie.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I'm as good an auntie as you.
I think it's just about...
it's kind of like something quite insulting when I say to Robbie, let me give you this and let me give you this. If they don't want any of my stuff, I'll find that quite insulting. So hopefully they take my stuff.
I know, but also I think Robbie's the older brother. He likes to be in charge. He's the most oldest sibling, first sibling that anyone could ever be. He is so stereotypically like that. And I think that he probably finds it aggravating that you as the younger sister have done all of this first. He's going to value your information so much. In a month's time, he's going to be begging for our help. Yeah. But right now, he needs to feel like he's, being the daddy and all that.
It's just something so funny about somebody who's a couple of days or, hours away from becoming a father or a mother, and they have no idea how life-changing it is. It's just, you are a different person. Mm-hmm. Life is different from that second onwards. And I remember with Donnie, me and Alfie kind of just weren't ready. Yeah. We just didn't realise how much of an impact it would have. And we tried so desperately to keep doing normal things. And we were lucky because we had so much help with our mum and, you know, being able to kind of still do things and date because we barely knew each other. But yeah, it's just so funny. They just have no idea.
I know. I think Rosa does, but Robbie...
Women do. And also if you're ready for a baby and you're slightly, you know, you're an age where it's appropriate to have a baby, I think that you're ready for all of that change. But
I think because Robbie's also a doctor, he thinks that he has all of this like medical like experience that's going to aid him when actually you have no idea. Like you can't have a birth plan. Like it's just going to be completely random.
There's no point having a birth plan, people. No. Don't have a birth plan.
But anyway, so we're both going to be aunties again, and I'm really excited about that.
Yeah. I'm excited about finally having a friend who's got a similar age baby.
I know.
I mean, some of my friends do have babies now, but they live very far away.
Exactly.
So I'm such a loner.
You're not a loner, Jessie.
So I got sent a book called Moody.
Yes, I'm reading it.
And what's it like?
It's very good. Very, very good. I've always found the idea of like female hormone patterns really interesting, especially understanding them more and how they kind of come into play with like contraception and birth control and all that kind of stuff.
I have never had enough respect for hormones and PMS and stuff until recently when my body is now kind of starting to realize, okay, you can start menstruating again. And because I've never had normal periods because of my polycystic ovaries and stuff, and then because I've been pregnant quite a lot, it's just so funny because I've started to have like regular patterns of kind of PMS. Mm-hmm. So 2 weeks after you have a period, do you get like moody and stuff? Like PMS, is it 2 weeks
2
before,
weeks
or is it
after you have a period?
Well, so I think I'm just having like all-time PMS.
Yeah, I feel like some women, I mean, for every person it's different, but
and I don't know why.
Well, the way that they kind of list it is that the week before your period you're quite like emotional and a bit kind of moody and bratty.
I just can't believe how overpowering it is.
Oh my
and
God,
I can't pinpoint what I'm feeling, but I just start saying really epic things that just can't be taken back.
Absolutely.
And suddenly I'm like, I've just ruined a day.
Yeah.
How did I ruin a day?
It's nice to know that you have the ability to ruin a day. I quite enjoyed that power.
Oh, really?
But
it's also not just my day. I've ruined like other people's day by my hormones.
I think it's just once you start to get into the swing of it and being regular really helps, it means that you know, oh, so am I like, is there a justified reason why I'm getting into this fight, or am I just being a bitch because I have my hormones?
What do you do when you know that you're feeling like that?
I can just always tell if I am angry about something and then I start to cry instantly. Like it's not like, oh, I feel a cry coming on. Tears just spurt out my face.
Yeah, you can see them on your face as well. Sometimes you can just see your face is like about to crack.
Then I know, okay, my hormones are... They're doing
fucking
something.
With me.
Yeah. But what's good in this book is she talks about the fact that you have something called dose. Dose being like a sort of abbreviation for all of the good hormones that a body can produce, which are like your sort of natural balancing things like dopamine and serotonin and oxytocin. She just talks about the way that you can basically start to use those things to your own benefit and like trigger them when you need to. So the way that exercise obviously produces endorphins and human contact produces oxytocin, and there are certain things that you can do that when you know you've got a bout of something coming on, there are active things that you can do to kind of like make yourself feel better by just triggering the good hormones.
So, but like what? Exercise?
I haven't got that far in the book yet.
Well, tell me when you do.
I will.
And then I'll read it after you.
But it does make so much sense the second that you start listening to what your body's actually telling you. It's all just so like mathematical, you know?
There's something quite comforting about though following a formula.
Yeah.
And being able to trick your emotions. Mm-hmm.
What?
Something. There must be something else I want to say.
Or sometimes I'm like, do we sound smart? I can't tell.
What did we just say?
We just said something about hormones.
Anyway, we're going to start a TikTok, which is something very exciting. I haven't ever even gone on to TikTok, which is quite a feat in today's day and age.
I'm not sure that you would like it. I think that
I don't hate it, but you know,
have to have quite a specific sense of humor. It's very like short form and
they're basically reels, right?
Reels are like shit TikToks, yeah. TikToks tend to be a lot funnier than Instagram Reels.
Oh, sorry,
but also
that was not me burping. That was maybe.
But also you might not like it because there's a lot of millennial bashing on TikTok. So you'd probably find it to be quite a hostile place, especially with you and your skinny jeans on. Jesus Christ, they would rip you to shreds.
What? Why? Why would I be ripped to shreds?
Because basically TikTok is a platform dominated by Generation Z, which are people my age and younger. Like, I'm on the cusp. I don't even really feel like a Generation Z, but they're all adults now, people born... You'll be looking at a video of an adult and you'll be like, oh, wow, that's an adult like me. And then you realise, oh, they were born in 2004. But they make fun of millennials for being kind of outdated, for wearing skinny jeans, for liking frappuccinos. Harry Potter fans. Exactly. That they are just lame. Yeah. That they're just lame, that they can't grow up, that they say things like, oh, that's so random, or, whatever. And it's silly because in 10 years, Donnie and Margot's generation will be making fun of Generation Z for being overly cringe and like having a weird sense of humour. But basically, if you were to go on TikTok, you would be shocked. You'd be very shocked. It's a wild place.
Alfie just does such a funny impression of Gordon Ramsay telling off his daughter Tilly. Tilly! I can't do that impression.
There's also a lot of Gordon Ramsay impressions on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah. It's funny because it's slightly annoying because you get these teenagers or people in their very early 20s watching things that older people, not much older, but people in your generation and stuff like that, that you were just fans of, like Big Brother, or like any kind of reality television, or like old sort of Channel 4 British shows where like they would like go and visit a fat family, those kind of like vintage things that like, you've seen the video where he's like, oh, I'm going to go and visit a delicious family today. Come on, fatties, I'm coming to town. Like, it's like the kind of stuff that you wouldn't be able to publish on television today. That teenagers and people in their early 20s are revisiting that stuff now and acting like it's this sort of treasure trove or like it's a time capsule. And it's like, it was literally 10 years ago. It's not that long ago.
So are you allowed to chop up programs?
Yeah. People do it all the time for millions of views and to get loads of likes and stuff like that.
Wow.
And they just show clips of something that I remember watching on TV not that long ago, and they'll be like, wow, can you believe that this was there?
Oh my
It can make you feel very old very quick.
I've stopped myself from going on it just because I'm scared.
I just remember it was, come on, you massive fatties, the Lord police are in town. Oh my God. It's the funniest thing. It was fucking wild. Yeah, wild.
We were thinking about this the other day when, because we used to love reading Heat magazine.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember in Heat magazine there would be, or was it Closer? One of them, there was like what I ate today.
Oh, my God.
And it would be a celebrity going through their diet in a day, and it would amount to something like 1,000 calories, like nothing.
Yeah, it was some triggering stuff, honestly.
You eat more than 1,000 calories a day, probably, don't you?
But I think it's also interesting because, like, yes, the beauty standard then was very fucked up. And I think there was a lot of emphasis on trying to look like celebrities and stuff now. But what's kind of strange about today is that with TikTok and everything like that, and normal people having so much power to put their own content out there, I kind of feel like the actual value of beauty and beauty standards, it's sort of similar because people are still putting in a slightly unreal representation of themselves online. And then on top of that, they're not even saying, I'm a celebrity who's had hair and makeup. They're saying, I'm a real person. This is me doing a video of a dance. Don't I look amazing, natural? I've done it all myself. And that still is kind of unattainable. Some people are too afraid to put even just a photo of themselves online.
Yeah,
and there are so many beautiful girls out there and so many amazing teenagers dancing that it's like, I think the value of beauty is like, it's so easy to be beautiful online now. It's kind of become something a little bit more watered down, I think.
Very good point, Bibi.
Thank you so much.
Very good point.
Yeah, and that's why I've dyed my hair, because I'm just trying to fit in with the TikTok girls.
Okay.
God, you look so nice.
Do I?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Look at those sexy little cowboy jeans.
I don't understand what it is because it's not doing anything to my bum, that line.
It's like it's like it's just drawing attention to it. It's like those special leggings that they sell on TikTok, which I have 2 pairs of.
I would be made fun of for wearing skinny jeans.
Yeah.
Why?
Or they say...
People sell skinny jeans.
Because skinny jeans were a big thing when you were in your 20s or you were a teenager, because it was like the age of sort of Tumblr and Pinterest and being a bit of a goth girl and stuff like that. They associate skinny jeans with a frame of mind, which is the millennial frame of mind. You like to go to Starbucks and make a mood board.
I do like making a mood board.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I do like going to Starbucks.
Exactly, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. All they're doing is highlighting the differences. They think that millennials are a little tame and a little bit lame, dream, and Generation Z are very cool and, you know, have all of these like things and quirks.
Grande, nut blend, sugar-free, vanilla latte. Thank you very much.
It is. Yeah, no, it's pretty good. It is.
I don't want to know what's in the nut blend.
Oh,
I don't want to know what nuts are in the nut blend.
I don't even like saying the phrase nut blend.
Yeah, I do feel a bit embarrassed. Alfie doesn't order. I have to order for us because he's too embarrassed.
Doesn't Jessie look so beautiful?
Oh, that's very sweet.
For listeners, Jessie looks very beautiful.
No, I don't. I'm really not sleeping very well. I keep having really horrible nightmares. But I'm they're really stupid. Like really, people from my past just popping up in my nightmares. I'm like, go away. I don't want you here. I haven't thought about you in a decade.
Do I ever appear in your dreams?
No, never.
Really?
Yeah, never appear in my dreams. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Do you dream?
You appear in my dreams all the time.
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
You more than anyone else, probably.
In a nice way.
Oh, yeah. Always in a nice way.
Oh,
always
so
in a
you have
way.
nice dreams?
I have nightmares a lot of the time too, but they tend to be just triggered by anxiety or something like that. But,
oh my God, I went through a phase of writing down. The second you wake up, writing down what's ever in your head, because the idea is that you're still dreaming.
Yes.
That was so terrifying.
Yeah.
The things that I would read, and I would always think that I was writing it down properly, but then when I look at it like later in the day, it would be just
slurred words across the state. I know, it is funny.
But why was I so interested? I was like, I must be such an interesting person. I must have really poetic dreams, and I need to write them down.
Yeah, but that's because people think that dreams like represent something deep about your psyche, when actually I think more recent science shows that brains are just like a collection of not even like vignettes, but just like images and sounds and colors that your brain is like organizing the information that you've stored throughout the day, and then the part of your brain that makes things make sense to you, it just puts those words into a story. Like it doesn't actually mean anything. It's just what you interpret to be something.
Yeah, but it's also so depressing that usually the root of all of my dreams is something like, try harder. Or you can do it, stop it, just get a grip.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
All of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just because that's probably just the most internal worry that you have.
I found it my old Spotify came up when I got my new phone, because usually I have Alfie's, and all of my playlists are called something like Conquer, Power.
I thought you meant conquer like the thing on a tree.
Try harder, push harder, Power and Love.
Oh my God, Jessie. Honestly.
Or like, you can do it. Really, just all, and they're all either Dua Lipa or Florence and the Machine.
It's really crazy. No, your music taste is probably the most millennial thing about you.
But this is really cool for people who are excited about the fact that my show Sunrise is being recorded, and you can watch it if you haven't seen it, and it's going to be out in May. At the end of the show, I don't want to give it away, but there's a song played by Florence and the Machine, who I have a massive soft spot for. And I just love her. I just love how ethereal she is.
Florence Welch.
Oh my God.
We saw her once in Notting Hill.
You said this, yeah.
I think we've
said this so many times.
What, have we said it on the podcast before?
I just said it again, because then I want to try and find how many times we said this story about Florence.
Very few things happen to us, so you see there are going to be some repeats here and there. Anyway, we were walking Notting Hill. Shut up! I don't think I have said it before. You're such a bitch.
Okay, go and say it again.
So she was riding on a bicycle, very whimsically. She stopped at a red light. Stop! You're ruining the story.
Sorry.
Another boy on a bicycle rode up to her. They kissed, and then they cycled off in different directions.
Different directions.
Has anything ever happened to you like that? No.
Do they know each other?
Only. Who was it?
You know, that just wouldn't happen. That wouldn't happen nowadays.
Magical. Can you comment below if I have actually told that story before? Because I think I haven't.
They weren't wearing helmets.
I told it to Sarah the other day. That's why you're getting confused.
Very, very confused. That's
Exactly.
true. Anyway, very excitingly, I didn't realise that in order to have a song of somebody's, 10, big moment, okay? To have a song of somebody's, you have to ask their permission.
Uh-huh.
So Theatre had to contact Florence Welch's managers type thing.
Welsh.
Managers.
Yeah, you're like, is it Welsh or Welch? You
Yeah,
decided to not take the risk and say neither.
All I know is Flo. Okay?
Yeah.
And apparently the manager was like, or the publisher or whatever, was like, sorry, she's probably not going to reply. She's very busy, whatever. She sent an email directly back to Soho Theatre being like, oh my God, I'd be so happy for Jessie to choose the song. She knows me.
So cool.
Or she doesn't know me, but she approved the song being used. She knows me.
High five.
Oh, what that missed.
So
Isn't
yeah,
that fucking
that's
cool?
just the coolest thing.
The dog
Really,
days are
really
over.
the coolest
And then I
thing.
was having a really sweet chat with Donnie. I was playing the song and he was like, why is it dog days? It should be cat. When I explained what dog days meant, like, you know, getting over something horrible days are behind us. He was like, it should be cat days because cats can't be trusted. So sweet. Cats don't love you unless you give them food. Dogs don't have to be fed to be loved.
Yeah, but I mean, that is true. But I also read an interesting theory that cat people are the superior people because they don't need the constant validation and free love and affection that a dog will give you. They know that they are worthy of like earning somebody's respect, whereas a dog person needs that like quick, oh my God, you're going to love me no matter what and you're going to be desperate to see me all the time. I'm a cat person.
I know. Oh, I'm a no animal person. But
That's
I
true.
saw on the news this morning about how many more dog thefts there have been during lockdown because
Yeah.
people desperately want some kind of affection and, you know, unconditional love from something during this period of time, and they've got more time to go for walks.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, who is stealing these dogs? I mean,
know.
obviously criminals, but wouldn't it be funny if it wasn't criminals?
If it was just like
people who
middle-aged women.
Yeah, just-
I mean, we saw
a group of middle-aged women
We saw a
earlier.
group of middle-aged women at a cafe earlier, and they all had like the same 5 different shades of hair color between sort of like a nutmeg brown and a sort of light mousy
all
grey.
wearing a jean with a bit of calve showing on one leg because they'd cycled there.
And all of their dogs, small dogs, all had the exact same hair that they did.
Yeah.
Curly, wavy,
And
straight.
they were all sitting next to each other so closely and
sort of
talking so
secretively-
intimately.
Secretively whispering things to each other like they were a coven. It
Yeah.
was interesting.
So
Maybe they are the dog thieves.
they're the fucking dog thieves of, of Notting Hill. The Notting Hill dog thieves. There's
That's
Richard
funny.
Osman's next novel. That was a very clever joke because he's just written a crime novel, you know?
It was just, we're topical, we're witty, we're sassy, we got it all going on. Got it all going on.
We attack celebrities.
Exactly. Don't watch out, okay? I look like I've been crying this whole time. It's just the hay fever is so bad, honestly. And I did a bit of a risky Instagram story.
It's so fucking gross now.
What?
You need to grow that out. That is.
Look at how long it's got. I've had this for 2 weeks now. I normally pick
Are
it
they
off.
your nails?
No, these are acrylics.
Oh my god! Thank God, because if they were your nails, I would have been really grossed out.
No,
They
no,
look very pointy.
Yes, I got some acrylics put on like the day that nail salons opened, and I normally crack them off by this point. I think part of the reason why I get acrylic nails is just so that I can crack them off and fuck up my nails for like the next few months. But I haven't done it this time. I used it as a control exercise. I pick my nail polish when I'm anxious. I thought, I wonder how long I can go without picking nail polish off, and I haven't. Look at that.
Very good. You're
I know it
improving
doesn't look
in
great,
so many
but
ways.
you know, thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Proper grown up.
Yeah, I did a bit of a risky Instagram story yesterday about hay fever.
Yeah,
because I had
with a pirate.
because I dressed myself as a. Oh no, I drew a pirate face on myself because I just thought that was funny.
Why is that risky? Why are pirates? Should you not be a pirate?
No, because I just looked really ugly in it. But I just
Oh,
thought it was funny.
right.
And then I was like, I shouldn't be afraid of just posting an ugly photo of myself on Instagram. You know, it's empowering.
The uglier, the better.
Exactly.
That's what I
So,
say.
There we go.
I still like to look, you know, pristine.
Yes. yes.
I'm not good like that.
I know.
I can't show myself not looking how I want to look.
Exactly.
I really wish I could.
But it's like, you know, it's a controlled thing. And I think that you got to do what makes you comfortable and what makes you do the best work. And in fact, you were saying this right at the beginning of the podcast when we were talking about hair and the fact that you don't want to change your hair because you have a set thing that you know works for you. It reminds me of, it must have been Sarah Pascoe in one of her shows talked about, you know, there are different attitudes that you can have to work and life and
Oh my
success
God,
and
her
stuff.
advice was the best advice I've ever received.
Yes.
Sarah Pascoe is
A genius,
amazing.
right?
She was like, I think she said it in a show.
Yeah.
But I like to remember that she told me directly, which is probably maybe true because I did have a conversation with her once. But I think I was talking to her about being rejected by somebody, and she said, if I could give anybody any advice now, it would be to settle and focus on your career.
Yeah, it was just powerful, wasn't it?
It was so empowering back then because I think I was like 25 and I was kind of flitting between certain ideas of what I should do with boys, or I should have a relationship, or I should, you know, whatever. I didn't know what, I was at a crossroads. And yeah, it was just so empowering because I was like, yeah, maybe I don't need to find the perfect guy and I can really focus on my career, because actually, I'm not saying that I haven't found the perfect guy, but I definitely have got different priorities because of that advice.
Yeah, and I think that what that advice teaches you is not that like settling for someone mediocre is the right thing to do, but this idea of settling and not looking for something perfect, because there is no perfect person out there for you, and just making sure that you're happy and that you have what you need and that you have consistency so that you can do the best thing that you possibly can. It's probably fantastic advice.
Totally. And also, whenever I have had periods of time where I've been single or I've been in a relationship which hasn't been brilliant, or I spend so much time agonizing about the date I'm about to go on, or the place that we have to pick to go on this date, or if I'm in the relationship, like, oh, how can I make him happy, or how can I choose this? It takes up so much of my time, where I could be focusing on like what I'm going to write, you know, rivaling Richard Osman's novel about dog detectives or whatever. You know, I could be doing ideas, but
working towards our future.
Yeah. But so she was amazing for that.
Yeah,
I think she is honestly just the nicest person, and she's given such a nice quote for Sunset, which I didn't realize that quotes, when you write a book, you obviously want people to read it and buy it. And so the book was sent out to a number of people that I know who are in the entertainment industry, who have a following. And she was the first person I sent the book to, terrified, because I've just loved all of her books. And she
is amazing.
She read it and she sent me such a nice message and it's given me such a nice quote. And it's like, I genuinely cried reading it. And it's just like, I just hope I'm that generous for other people one day.
Probably not.
I don't think I am.
Probably not.
I'm not going to be that nice.
We can't all be as good as Sarah Basker.
No.
That's what you got to realise sometimes.
Yeah, and then you realise they're so nice because they're so content with they're doing well. They don't need, whereas I'm not there yet.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is, like, what's so fascinating about her is, like, she's so great and so successful, and yet still so different to us or to anything. Like, there are still things that she would do that we wouldn't do. I remember reading this passage in her book about masturbation.
Masturbation.
I don't know why I pronounced it like that. I think it's because I felt so uncomfortable, but masturbation. She was talking about how when she realised that that's something that you do for yourself and that you don't always need to get sexual validation from a partner, even though she had a boyfriend, she sometimes, when she wanted to masturbate, she would say to him,
Yeah,
like,
I'm
I
just
found
going
this
upstairs.
so funny.
Yeah.
She'd be like, I'm going to masturbate now, don't disturb me. And she would lock the door, run herself a bath, and she called it seducing yourself, and put all these candles around and music and stuff and then do it. And I just thought, oh, that is silly. But, like, I respect her so much for doing that.
Yeah.
And sometimes she'll say, get him, girl, do it. I wouldn't be able to do that myself, but,
It's amazing.
you know?
Really, really good.
So we can leave you with one thing today. Seduce yourself, guys.
Seduce yourself. And
Seduce yourself.
Settle and focus on your career.
Do it. High five this time?
This time?
Okay.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you for subscribing if you have. I haven't looked at if our hard sell on the subscribing and the liking worked
paid
from
off.
last weekend.
Who knows?
We'll see the evidence this week.
Yeah.
But please like and subscribe.
And thank you for watching, and become a patron, and come to our live podcast, please.
29th of May.
27th of May.
29th.
That's it. We'll put a link in the description this time,
Yeah.
and we would love to see you there.
And it's patreon.com/Cave Sisters. And watch out for our big TikTok skinny jean routine. Skinny jean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.